Hello everybody, so, you all knew this was coming, the Reckoning review. I've done this with the past, 3 COD Zombies maps that have come out the last year. I didn't do Citadel, of course, because I wasn't on YouTube then, I was taking a hiatus at that point, if you remember. But I've done the Tomb, and I've done Shattered, so I figured why not do, Reckoning, I forgot the name of it for a second, I was gonna call it Janus Towers. Anyway, I'm gonna use my final perker for this map because this might be my very last Black Ops 6 video I make. Which is kind of sad, I know, but I mean, like, I want to go into detail. This might be like a pretty long one today, but I want to go into detail about what I think about this entire game and what I think it's been like the last year, and what I think of each map. So, what I think of the game itself. So when it first came out, I was obviously really excited because it was the return of round-based zombies. We had not had a round-based zombies game since 2021 with Vanguard, and of course Vanguard wasn't exactly that good. Vanguard was terrible, as a matter of fact. It was just awful. And then after that we had MWZ zombies. I never played that. I never played Vanguard either. I didn't even buy Vanguard, but I hear they were terrible. So that didn't really make me want to play them. The last round-based zombies game I played before this was Cold War. And Cold War, it was not the worst. It was definitely better than BO4 in my opinion. BO4 was just a major disaster when that came out. Like, the Chaos maps were okay. Like, the Chaos maps looked cool. But I weren't a fan of the new mechanics they added. And I was not a fan of where they took the Ether storyline. Like, the ending of it was just so unsatisfactory. You know, I understand that, like, in the storyline, you know, like, they had to sort of destroy everything to save themselves. It was a weird ending, but it didn't feel, like, satisfactory, you know what I mean? Like, it kind of felt like, honestly, I think it was probably one of the worst endings for a storyline since, I don't even know, Game of Thrones. Like, it weren't good. It weren't good. Obviously, we're not gonna have the same opinions. So, whoever disagrees with me, please feel free to tell me, because I would love to hear your opinion in the comments. But I just weren't a fan of what they did with BO4's ending. And then Cold War came out, and Cold War, the storyline, I liked where they were going with it. I really liked where they're going, and then they introduced the cliffhanger of that where Dr. Peck was still alive after Forsaken when Sam sacrificed herself to capture Zykov. Thought that was really cool. And then Terminus came around and it introduced Maya, who is my favourite character of this crew. And for fuck's sake, we are lagging. Oh, God. And that's another thing I hate about BO6. I hate that you can lag in solo games. Why, man? Why is BO6 got to be online only, man? I hate I hate that games are becoming online only nowadays. It just sucks, man. It just sucks. I hate it, bro. But anyway, another thing well, as I was saying about Terminus, the storyline of Terminus I thought was really cool. I liked where it was heading. Like, I was curious on what they were going to do with the Chaos story being canonized. I am so getting killed because of this fucking lag, bro. What is happening? Yeah, I was really confused and wondering where they were going to go with this whole Chaos storyline. Because I mean, last I checked, the Chaos storyline didn't exactly go anywhere. And they sort of merged the Ether storyline with the Chaos storyline, which I think is quite a good way. I think that was a good thing to do. Holy shit, this lag is bad, bro. This lag is bad. This has got to be like some of the worst lag I've ever seen. And oh fuck, I'm losing track of what I'm saying, man. This lag is throwing me off guard. Jesus Christ. I deeply apologize for this. This is just BO6's problem. Fucking Activision, man. But anyway, oh, I can open this door as well. But I honestly liked the way they were going with it. And then, of course, Liberty Falls brought back Richtofen, because it was shown at the end of Forsaken and Cold War that Richtofen was the man behind Requiem. I was wondering where they were going to go with that. And then, of course, then came BO6, and they were setting it all up, and I thought, okay, cool. And then Citadel came out, and I thought, I liked Citadel. Citadel was quite cool. I mean, of course, Citadel storyline was actually, like, it was a bit shortened out because of the whole AI controversy. We'll get into that in a minute now. But, what the was that Shatter Blast? But, honestly, though, I really thought, the story was heading off to a good direction. Then the Tomb came out, and there was not a single line said in the end cutscene, and I was very disappointed by that. It was literally just the Sam AI talking, and I was like, that was very disappointing. And then Shattered Veil came out, and the mid cutscene and end cutscene of that was so good. And then, of course, we got Reckoning, and of course, again, there's not an intro cutscene. Bit disappointed by that, not gonna lie to you. But I thought I'll let it slide. And then, after doing the Easter egg and seeing the end cutscene, I wasn't exactly thrilled, to be honest with you, because this is meant to be the final map. This is the finale of BO6, and there was barely any lines said. You had the Sam. You could either choose to side with Sam AI or Richtofen. And in the Richtofen end, he just gets his family back, and then you get teleported to the lobby where you meet this new version of Ultimus, the Ultimus crew from BO1. And I was sitting there scratching my head like, okay, so first off, oh Jesus Christ, yeah, no, I'm so getting myself killed. It just had me scratching my head because I was like, how did they come back? You know, I get this is probably going to be answered in BO7. I was just like, yeah, I was just thinking to myself like, they're not going to immediately. Oh my God, this lag's terrible, bro. They're not going to immediately answer it, you know. Also, I didn't get that max ammo. I'm a bit disappointed by that. But yeah, they're not going to, like, answer it immediately, you know. It's like, it's going to be sort of like a cliffhanger, which I hate cliffhangers, but I was like, okay, I'll let it slide. But, like, I don't know, it still felt unsatisfactory. Like, it's a good map. Reckoning, I would give Reckoning 50-50 in terms of, like, the actual map itself. I'll get into that in a minute now. But, like, story-wise, though, I was not a fan. It did not feel satisfactory enough, in my opinion. I was not satisfied. I was sitting there just like, what? It feels like they're just setting up more for BO7, because Cold War was setting up BO6. Same with MWZ Zombies. And now BO6 is just setting up for BO7. Like, where are they heading with this? Are they going to be just continuously setting up stuff? Or are they actually going to go somewhere with this story? It's like they're winding up their hand to go in for that overhand punch, but not going in for the overhand. They just keep, like, winding back, teasing us. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of annoying me. But anyway, let's get into Terminus first and what I think of that. So, Terminus is in fact the first map in this in the game. And honestly, I am not a fan of it. I really don't like Terminus. It's probably my least favorite map in BO6. Actually, no, probably not. It is definitely my least favorite map in BO6. I am not a fan of Terminus. Reasons why: for one, the map is like, it's like Outbreak. It reminds me too much of Outbreak. 80% of it is just ocean. I don't like the boats. I don't like the Wonder Weapon. The Wonder Weapon is very unsatisfying. It's called the Beam Smasher as well. It sounds like something a 5-year-old would come up with. It's literally just a laser gun, that's it. I will admit, I do like the little sonar feature it has, which slows the zombies down. That's quite cool, but... And I also love the fact that if you have an empty mag, it has like a shockwave when you reload it. That makes it quite cool. But other than that, I don't really see myself getting it, you know? Like, I'm not a fan of it. But, and then the Easter egg, of course. I mean, the Easter egg was alright for it. I mean, it wasn't easy. I actually think it might be the hardest Easter egg in BO6. I don't know if anyone else will agree with me on that, which, if they don't, that's fine. But that's just my opinion. It was like, the steps were quite tricky. And especially since they took ages to do. And then, of course, the next map that came out was Citadel, which I was quite shocked that it came out so early, because it was only a month after the game came out, and I was like, that's very early for a new map to be coming, but I wasn't complaining, and honestly, I'm glad I didn't complain, because Citadel Daymore is a banger. I loved Citadel. Liberty Falls was okay as well. I actually think that was the map I played the most when the game first came out. Oh, what the fuck, Pack-a-Punch is flying around. Yeah, that map was easily the, that was easily the map I played the most in BO6 when it first came out. Like, I grinded on that so much. I was just grinding my guns out. I've mainly fucked around on Directed. I really like Directed. I think it's quite good for, like, newbie players. And of course, it's also pretty broken for, you know, leveling up your gun. There's so many, like, methods and shit to, like, upgrade to get different camos. I literally have a really good camo for, a camo grind method for Opal. It took me ages, but still, when I figured it out, it was such a lifesaver, man. But anyway, other than that, though, there wasn't really much to Liberty Falls. I mean, I liked the jet gun. I like how they did some justice on that, because that thing was terrible in BO2. And then, of course, when they brought it back, they made it 10 times better, so it doesn't break. And it has, like, a thunder gun feature, so basically they brought back the thunder gun in the form of the jet gun. And it's amazing, I love it. Anyway, Citadel, honestly, there's nothing much to complain about with Citadel. Citadel, I really loved. There's not really much I disliked about it. I loved the atmosphere. I loved the layout of it. The layout, I would arguably say, is better than DE, the map it's inspired by. The wonder weapons are amazing. When I first found out that wonder weapons would be swords, I was quite skeptical. I was like, how are they going to pull that off? Swords as a wonder weapon. But when I first played it and saw what it was actually like, oh my god, I was just in love, bro. I was absolutely in love with the swords, man. And I love how they implemented Melee Macchiato, which was the first perk they added in this game, the first new perk. And if I believe it's the only new perk they've brought out with this game. Like, they've brought back old stuff, but that's it. They've not really introduced anything else new other than Melee Macchiato, which is basically just Slappy Taffy from Infinite Warfare. If you've played Infinite Warfare Zombies, there's a perk in that called Slappy Taffy, which does the exact same thing. So, if anything, you could say they copied off of Infinity Ward, but nah, I didn't really like it when it first came out. I thought, what's the point of this? I'm not gonna waste my points on this. This is gonna be like the last thing I buy. And then when I played Citadel and saw how much of an effect it had on swords, I was like, holy shit, they actually made a use for this perk. And now I would say Melee Macchiato is like one of the top 4 perks, honestly, for that map. If you're playing it, it's definitely like the 3rd or 4th perk I'll buy. Like Quick Revive Jug, then Melee Macchiato or Speed Caller. I love that perk, man. It's so good on that map. Only that map, though. I don't use it on anything else. It's kind of useless on everything else. And the Easter egg is actually quite cool. Like, the boss fight is really cool. And, yeah, the steps can be a bit tedious, but it's an Easter egg. It's not meant to be easy. If it was easy, it would ruin the whole point of it being an Easter egg. But honestly, though, right, I thought it was a solid map. I thought, okay, after the terrible map of Terminus, I thought, well, maybe we're heading in the right direction. And then, of course, the Tomb came out, and oh, how my expectations were shattered into a million pieces, man. I was sitting there just like, what the fuck was this? I was just, oh god. If I've got 2 videos of me reacting to it for the first time, if you want to go check them out. And I've also done a review on it where I just ripped into it. I hate that map with every fibre I might be in. I don't hate it more than Terminus, though. Terminus just sucks, man. I'd rather not even talk about Terminus because of how much I dislike it. It's such a mid-map. The Easter egg is probably the only cool thing about it, and even that is nothing special. It ain't like fucking... It isn't like groundbreaking. Oh, Jesus Christ. But the Tomb, oh man, the Tomb is just... The Tomb is a... It's... What the fuck is going on, man? I don't even know. But, the Tomb was just a massive dumpster fire. The layout of it was pretty simple, I guess. There's nothing wrong with the layout of it. I weren't a fan of the whole thing of it being like they added 1 staff, like the ice staff was the only staff they added. I don't understand why they did that. Why couldn't they have just added all 4? They even had like 4 doors you could go through, which matched perfectly with the each staff. I don't get why they couldn't have just added that. It's just, I'll never understand why Treyarch did that. And then of course, they added oh fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. It's getting really late. I'm really tired right now. I want to go to bed. So that's why I'm trying to record this as quick as I can. So I'm sorry if I get a bit drowsy here, okay? But, I don't know why they only added 1 staff when they could have added 4. I think that would have improved the experience a lot more. And the ice staff, I like the ice staff in it. That's one of the only good things about the Tomb, in my opinion. But it's extremely tedious to get. Like... I hate how tedious the ice staff is. It makes me not even want to get it. I know it's a wonder weapon. It's not meant to be easy to get. They're wonder weapons, for crying out loud. They're not supposed to be, like, you know, just easy to get, you know what I mean? But it's just, it's like, the steps to get it are so tedious, it doesn't even make me want to get it, because it doesn't feel worth it, you know what I mean? I'm sitting there scratching my head, like, what? Why did I do all of that just for this, man? Like, in Origins, like, the wind or the ice staff, or hell, even the fire staff, even though the fire staff is the easiest staff to get, you actually felt rewarded after getting it, even though, like, the wind staff is a bitch to get. Like, you have to get stomped on by 3 fucking robots. Still, it's worth it because you get a really good staff. And same with the ice staff in Origins, it's a really good staff. But with the tomb, I sat there thinking to myself, why the fuck did I try getting this, you know? And even upgraded, like, upgraded it's really good, like, don't get me wrong, but I still kind of feel like, was that worth it? And the Easter egg is gotta be the most boring, most predictable Easter egg of all time. Don't get me wrong, I do like the whole, like, survival challenges you gotta do for each statue to build this, build the bridge to get the Sentinel artifact, but it felt too short. It felt like Liberty Falls, honestly. It felt really short. And then, of course, the actual boss fight with the Fentanyl artifact. Jesus Christ, that's a running joke me and Snipesies has. The Sentinel artifact. Pretty much, it was like, first of all, why are you fighting a piece of fucking furniture? How does it have, how is it, like, I don't understand how it has conscious thought. It's a fucking weird ass trophy thing. But I thought, alright, I'll let it slide. And it's not a bad boss fight. It's actually quite challenging. If you enjoy a challenge, I would recommend doing it. And then, of course, you had the terrible exit cutscene thing. It's fucking stupid. It's just basically just hinting the next map, which is Shattered Vale, which is my personal favorite, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Shattered Vale is just incredible. I glazed it in a review video if you want to go watch that. It's such a good map, man. It was incredible. There's nothing bad about it, really. Well, except for the fact that there weren't many good transportation options around the map. You spent a lot of your time just running. But I still loved it, man, nonetheless. It was so cool. And, like, I love how they brought back the Raygun Mark II, which is my personal favorite version of the Raygun. I like the Raygun Mark III, but it doesn't feel like I'd be using it that much, to be honest with you. It's definitely one of the best versions of the Raygun, but it doesn't make me feel like I'd be using it that often. The Raygun Mark II, oh my god. And also, it doesn't feel like it's overshadowed in this game. Because in the other, like, appearances of the Raygun Mark II, like its first appearance in Buried, for example, it was added alongside the Paralyzer, and the fucking Paralyzer literally made you invincible when you had it. That thing was broken as hell. Especially when Pack-a-Punch, you were untouchable. And if there were too many zombies, you could just fly in the air. I don't understand how that was allowed, man. And then, of course, you just had the Raygun Mark II, which is just sitting there, just chilling, like, hey, you know? It was the boring sidekick, basically. Like, it's like Batman and Robin, you know? You focus more on Batman than Robin than anything. Robin's just sitting there in the corner, just, like, kicking sand on the floor. Like, he just doesn't care, you know? That's basically what the Raygun Mark II was in Buried. And then, it was added to every other BO2 map, like Transit and all that. And that didn't help its cause either, because they also had their own wonder weapons, like, for example, on Mob, let's say, you could get it on there, I think. And then, of course, you're obviously not going to be looking to get that, because you're going to be looking to get the Blundergat. Who isn't, you know what I mean? And then in BO3, they did the exact same thing, and it's like, again, everything else is overshadowing it, like in DE. DE's bows were overshadowing that, definitely. Like, you cannot tell me that you were going to go on to DE and get yourself the Raygun Mark II over the Lightning Bow. Like, if you say that, I would actually call you mentally insane. Like, I would compare you to Jack Nicholson from The Shining. That's how insane I think you are. And then, of course, BO4, Alpha Omega, they sort of had their own, like, little, like, upgrades. You can get different versions of them. Which, I thought that was cool, but the thing is, BO4, of course, didn't exactly have the greatest reputation. And that's because of how badly they differentiated from the COD Zombie series. And I think they differentiated way too far. with it, in my opinion. Again, of course, not everyone's gonna think the same as me. If you like BO4, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But personally, I just didn't really like the whole thing about BO4. About how, like, you had to choose 4 perks. I like how they went back to basics with 4 perks only, but still, it sort of, like, just ruined it for me, in my opinion. I don't know, I weren't a fan of it. And that was just among of other things as well. I weren't a fan of how, like, all the Ether storyline maps were basically just remakes. Like, for example, Blood of the Dead, which was just a downgrade of Mob. My favourite map of all time. I hold a very big grudge against that map to this day. I hate that map with every fibre of my being, bro. And then, of course, then we had, you had, I can't remember what it was now. It's Classified, that's the one. I forgot the name of it. I was going to call it 5, but that was the original map's name. 5, I think Classified was my favourite of BO4's maps. Even though it was like a little bonus map, I still really enjoyed it. And then, of course, you had Alpha Omega, which is just a Nuketown remake. Again, I like the Raygun Mark II in that. I'm getting sidetracked, I'm sorry, but I'm just talking about thingy. But anyway, and then Cold War, of course, the Raygun Mark II didn't come back. Primarily because of how overpowered the Raygun Mark I was in that. It was fucking beastly in Cold War. They had to nerf it and it was still powerful. And then, of course, BO6, then Shattered Veil, they brought back the Raygun Mark II, but they also tried to do like an Alpha Omega thing where they did elemental variants of it, and honestly, it worked. It worked so well, and I love how it had something to do with the Easter egg. That map was like the first true map in COD Zombies where the Raygun Mark II truly shined, and it actually lived up to its glory. It was so good. I mean, of course, you had that shitty Marksman variant, but even that, it added personality, you know? It sort of showed that, like, even nothing's perfect, and nothing is perfect in COD Zombies. There's always going to be something bad. Like, BO3 is the pinnacle of COD Zombies. Like, it's wildly regarded as the best Zombies experience in the history of COD Zombies, and yet Zetsubo no Shima exists, which is dog shit. But yeah, honestly, there's not much really I can say about Shattered Veil except that it is my favourite map in the entire game, and I think it's the best COD Zombies map we've gotten in a long time. I remember playing that, I felt like a kid again. I actually felt like a kid again. It actually made me enjoy COD Zombies again. I remember being so hyped. I remember throughout all April of this year, I was just playing non-stop BO6, and that, I have not felt that way with COD since I was like, probably like 10. So that was a nice feeling to have again. And now we're finally on to the final map, the main star of the show, Reckoning. Now, again, I didn't want to put my expectations too high because I did that with the Tomb after Citadel came out, and look what that got me. Had me heartbroken. I was like a teenage girl experiencing their first breakup, like it was not fun. And honestly, right, this map is really good, and it's really shit. I really can't decide which is which. Like, it's 50-50 with me. Like, there's so many good elements with it, but there's also so many shit elements with it. Like, first off, well, since we're already here, and you've been seeing me play this for the last, like, fucking 15 minutes, the vibe of it is fucking killer. The vibe of this map might be my favourite in BO6 so far. It's so, like, the towers and shit, each level having, like, it sort of has elements of each map. Like, this room sort of has the mushrooms from the tomb. Very cool. Like, I love the vibe of this map. The vibe, they really do a good job. They've been doing a good job with this game of capturing vibes, really. Like, because even with the tomb has really good vibes nonetheless. I love the vibes of the tomb. Like, I think the worst map with the worst vibes is honestly Liberty Falls. Liberty Falls just, it was like, it's not bad, but it ain't great. It could have been better. Another thing I like about this this map are the actual Easter egg steps. Not the Easter egg cutscene and all and the ending, I'll get into that later. But the Easter egg steps of this game are just killer. They are amazing, bro. There's nothing wrong with the steps. Like, they really make me have fun playing it. Like, they actually give me like sort of a giggle sometimes. Like, I'm playing it and I'm actually enjoying doing the steps, which is quite rare for me considering oh god, oh fuck. I'm not a big fan of Easter eggs really in COD Zombies. I know, as ludicrous as that is to say, considering how much I love COD Zombies, I'm not a big Easter egg guy. But honestly though, the Easter egg steps in this are fun. Like, if I'm getting the Goggle Flex, I actually really enjoy doing that. It's really fun, like having to, like, do like a little soul box thingy, collect like the cyst thingy, and then having to charge the cyst up, and then having to fight the Forsaken. I thought that was really creative. It was really cool. And then, of course, you had the Easter egg cutscene, which made no sense to me. Like, because how are the new crew back? They just magically appear out of nowhere. Like, I like the whole thought of having two endings, but the only problem is one of them's going to be canon and the other one's going to be scrapped as non-canon, so what's the fucking point? That's what I don't understand with the, like, multiple endings thing. Like, how does this conflict with the story, you know? Like, one of them's going to be true and the other's not going to be true, you know? If it was like a finale to the entire thing and you're not going to be doing any more COD Zombies or a new storyline, then fair enough, but what's the point of doing two endings if only one of them is going to be the valid ending? I don't fucking get that. Don't get me wrong, I like how it's giving you option, and I also like how it affects the boss fight rapidly. You can either fight Richtofen or Sam, I like that, but still, again, ending-wise, it doesn't really add much, especially since the crew comes in anyway. It makes me think, what the fuck was the point of that then? That kind of pissed me off. And then of course we got the Wonder Weapon, which, oh my god, I was so disappointed when I tried out the Goggle Flex. I don't know what to say about it, man. It's so poo. I haven't upgraded it yet, of course, because I don't like using it, to be honest with you. It drops off in like the 20s, I believe. But, oh man, what the fuck just happened there? Okay, that's never happened before. I don't know what the hell happened there. But, oh my god, I hate that Wonder Weapon so much. I hate it more than I hate the Beam Smasher, and that's saying something, because I do not like the Beam Smasher. Oh my god, I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do with that thing. Again, some people may like it, and if you do, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. But I don't understand, man. Like, again, I probably should delve more into what I think of it after upgrading it and shit, but still. And I really like the upgrade quest as well. It's really cool how you can choose either to kill Panos or Blanchard. I think that's a really creative way to get a Wonder Weapon upgrade. But the actual Wonder Weapon doesn't feel like you deserve to get it. Like, you feel like you went through all of that just for nothing, basically. And it's just, oh, it was so disappointing. And now we're going to start talking about BO6 in general, now that we've gone over all the maps. I mean, there was a lot of problems with this game, of course. There was a lot of good things, like, for example, I like how they sort of, instead of, like, just taking a lot of inspiration from multiplayer stuff and all that, they actually started to fully integrate, like, their own full maps into it, which I really like. And then, there are some problems as well, like, you know, for example, but these are problems that are from Cold War 2, like, I don't like loadouts, I don't like rarity, I don't like salvage, I don't really like any of that, like, you know, especially salvage I think is a lot worse in this game, because I literally, like, you're just gonna be all I really use salvage for is to upgrading your gun, and that's it. I don't touch the special thingies, like the mutant injector is really the only one I use, and I only use that when I'm exfilling because it just makes exfilling way easier. That is legit it. I don't use it for much else, to be honest with you. And weapon rarity, just it kind of, it differentiates from the old stuff that we used to like. Again, I like that they added change. I think change is necessary to make, like, the game more interesting. Like, for example, Gobblegums in BO3. Even though that basically just made the game feel like fucking cheating. And of course, speaking of which, Gobblegums in this are not worth what they used to be back in the day. Because the new system, like, for example, Perkaholic. Why would I ever want to get Perkaholic when I could just buy all the perks anyway? There's no perk limit, you know? Perkaholic was way worth more back in the day because there was actually a perk limit. Like, could you imagine now, right? Because usually when you're playing BO3, you can only have 4 perks. Imagine popping a fucking gum now and then having every perk in the game. You're unstoppable, bro. And then, with this, sure, it does kill a lot of time. Like, it saves a lot of fucking time, as a matter of fact. But, still, you can just buy all the perks. And the perk system, I don't hate the perk system, but it's not as good as the old perk system, in my opinion. I think it was much better doing the Easter egg steps and then getting all the perks. It actually feels more rewarding, if that makes sense. And I don't know what the hell what to expect with BO7. Honestly, I am not excited for BO7 at all, if I'm being real with you. Which is quite... it's weird coming out of my mouth because of how much I love COD Zombies, but I don't know what to expect anymore. You know, like, you got the... Oh, fuck. Uber Klaus is here. Hold on a sec. I don't really know what to expect with... I don't really want to keep my expectations high anymore, because every time I do, it just... I feel like it's going to be crushed in some bad way. Oh, for fuck's sake. Uber Klaus is doing my head in. But, like I said, I like that we got the old crew back, and I'm really hoping that we get some old shit back, like... I don't know, like maybe a classic mode where the old mechanics come back. That'll be quite cool. But like Zombies, it's like, for example, as well, Zombies is not hard anymore. Zombies is legit easy as fuck nowadays. I wish we had some difficulty, like Infinite Warfare. I'm doing a series on that, by the way, in a couple of days, so please stay tuned for that, because that's gonna go wild. But yeah, that's really all I got to say with BO6. Overall, if I had to rate the game out of 10, I give it a 6.5 out of 10, maybe 7. Like, it was much better than Cold Wars, in my opinion. I think I give Cold War a 5. You know, Cold War, it had some good maps. Like, I really enjoyed D Machina, I really enjoyed Mauer, and I really enjoyed Forsaken, but that was really it. I didn't enjoy Firebase C. I hated Outbreak. And Onslaught, I liked Mystery Munitions, that was a fun little game mode, but I don't really like the whole thing of, like, just having multiplayer maps as a fucking Zombies map. I think that is pure laziness. But yeah, that's really my take on BO6. If you disagree with it, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I like having a little conversation where I hear other people's side of the story. I think it's quite interesting, and if you agree with my take, then, you know, drop a like or whatever. And yeah, and if you stuck around this long, well, credits to you. I don't know how the hell you put up with a 31-minute rambling, completely unedited, by the way. I'm not editing this at all, of just me yapping. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.